All right, we're going to call this meeting to order. Mary Jane.
You guys have never applied for it.
Roll call. Mary Jane.
Yeah.
Rick
Here.
Van Winkle.
Here.
Gene Davies.
Here.
Phil Mullins is absent. Dallas Abrams.
Here.
Joe Bartle.
Here.
Has everyone had a chance to look at the minutes from September meeting? Is there any questions?
I make a motion we accept the minutes from the last meeting.
Is there a second?
Second.
Okay, roll call. Mary Jane.
Yes.
Rick Van Winkle.
Same.
Gene Davies.
Yes.
Earl's absent. Dallas Abrams.
Yes.
Joe Bartle.
Yes.
Has everyone had a chance to look at the warrants and payroll time sheets? Is there any questions? If not, I need a motion to
So
accept.
moved.
Is there a second? Joe Bartle.
Yes.
Dallas Abrams.
Yes.
Jeannie Davies.
Yes.
Rick Van Winkle.
Yes.
Mary Jane Thomas.
Yes.
I need a motion to transfer police revenue from general fund public to the police fund.
So made.
Is there a second?
Second.
Joe Bartle.
Yes.
Dallas Abrams.
Yes.
Jeannie Davies.
Yes.
Rick Van Winkle.
Yes.
Mary Jane.
Yes.
I need a motion to approve the police fund monthly transfer of $7,100.
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Mary Jane.
Yes.
Rick Van Winkle.
Yes.
Gene Davies.
Yeah.
Earl Mullins. He's not in there. Dallas.
Yes.
Joe Bartle.
Yes.
I need a motion to approve the September interest transfers.
So made. Second.
Joe Bartle.
Yes.
Dallas Abrams.
Yes.
Gene Davies.
Yes.
Rick Van Winkle.
Yes.
Mary Jane.
Yes.
Okay. Next on the agenda, Dan and Debbie Stevens. Floor is yours.
Okay, I would like to address several issues, primarily the harassment that I have received from Chief Driver that actually started back on May 18th of 2010 with my neighbor. Most of you know who my neighbor is. Only referring to it as an example, not to open that can of worms. So please, I want to make that clear. So, you know, on different occasions, he's told me that she had contacted him. One instance was didn't want me to spray weed eater on my fence until the property line dispute was settled. He told her I don't, I can't enforce that. He still come to my house, holes in the drive, the neighbors, what Debbie do now. At that particular time, I've had the EPA, the health department, the zoning, on and on and on at my house because of the neighbors. This continued on. I was accused of trespassing when I didn't trespass. And then, with that, I received a letter from him December 27th of 2010. He had no problem any other time coming to my house. But this time he chose to write a letter where I'm being accused of writing letters to my neighbor. And he looked at the writing on my zoning application or variance application, and according to his letter, there were very similarities. So I was being accused of writing the letters. I think he's underpaid. He's evidently a forensic expert here. I might be some dumb, but I'm not plumb dumb. If I'm going to write a letter, I'm sure not going to do it in my own handwriting. He advised me in the letter that if these continued, that he would send it to Montgomery County Forensic, for examples, to clear me or not to clear me. If it was found I was responsible, he was going to pursue harassment. Now at the bottom of the letter, and everybody has been by our house several times, how many times do you see our vehicles parked in front of our house? Really, we got a big driveway. On 3 occasions we had contractors at our house that we actually moved some vehicles out, and we had tree trimmers. But he puts, also, please make sure your vehicles parked on the street are moved every 24 hours or they will be ticketed for violation of village ordinance.
Thank you.
After that, we did not call him about our neighbors' vehicles, which sat there for months, not moved. But since he's threatening us, then it was on. So we started every 25 hours leaving a message. It hadn't been moved. Again, we never would have done that had he not sent this threatening letter. Then now we continue on to June, where I was, according to him, he advised a certain individual to file a civil protection order against me, which she did. It was dismissed. I went to court on the 21st. On the 22nd, I got the call at 10 o'clock in the morning from my attorney that the CPO was dismissed. I immediately hung up from talking to my attorney, called the chief, had a good 10-minute conversation with him about it. I asked, had she ever came to you and filed any police reports that I may further need to, if this goes on. And my object of the call was to let him know it's dismissed. So whatever she says, it's dismissed. So, this, like I said, was a good 10-minute conversation, and, it was, it ended amicably, and that was done with. The very next day, on the 23rd, he pulls into my drive and asks for my Social Security number. I walked out of my house on the porch. He asked for my Social Security number. I gave it to him. He continues to tell me that I smiled and waved and went out of my way to this certain individual. Keep in mind it was dismissed at 8:51 the day before, and I let him know that. The Sheriff's Department, to my understanding, puts on and takes off the citations on your driver's license, which it hadn't been done yet. While he was standing in my driveway, I said, "Can you wait a minute so I can call my attorney?" He put the call in the report, but not my attorney. He said, "I don't care who you call. I'm going to file charges on you." You went out of I smiled and waved and went out of my way to get close to her. You have violated your CPO, which was what? How can you violate what's not there? I said, "Did you talk to Jamie down at the New Paris Market?"
Come on.
Okay, I can go on with this. The whole
If
point
you're
of it
so
is
upset
he
about
calls
this-
a fine, a police report, Neil.
This is 2010. If you're so upset about this,
Excuse me.
you did this in 2011,
Yes.
then why didn't you come down here and file a report like you're supposed to?
I called you, and I called Earl,
No
and Earl said, you never returned a call, and Earl said it's a legal
Listen,
matter.
hey, hold it down. You don't need to yell. If you can't control yourself, I'll throw you out of here.
You don't
And I'll have
either.
you removed.
You don't either.
Pal, you better listen to it too. You
You
understand it
listen
too?
to it too, brother.
Chief, would you remove this individual?
You
from
don't
this
have to
proceedings?
remove me. I'll
Exactly,
gladly-
right now. And from this premises.
I don't think that's right.
That is right.
I really don't think that he's
Here we go, Marty Driver, escorting everybody out, and you wonder nobody supports any of this bullshit here? That's why I have 100 vote no. Why do I want to pay somebody like that?
Bye.
I think we could have let her finish her statement, whether you like it or
I
not.
want no more attention.
You
Yeah, we're getting
mind your own business here. I'm running this proceeding. And I'm going to tell you what, I've listened to all you're going to about this. Now, she had plenty of options, and the way that she's supposed to do the procedure is come down and file a grievance with the police department and the safety committee. Then we hear the problem. If it doesn't get satisfactory there, then you take it to court.
Okay, whatever you
Okay.
say, you're right. Okay, let's go on.
Next on the list is Chief, get back here.
I have something
Susan
else on the
Skips,
police
Susan
department.
Skips isn't here. Safety committee, we'll get that when the chief comes back. Building committee,
No,
streets, Rick,
not that I'm aware
Anything?
of, no.
We haven't heard from Susan about our grants or anything like that, have we?
We have not heard anything from Susan. You know, we've qualified for the Washington Street project for next year, but we'll just have to wait and see how that goes.
Right. Finance, we know where we're at on that pretty much, don't we?
Nothing.
Okay.
We're in trouble.
Sanitation,
Bottom
Mary
line, Mary, you were watching,
What's that?
um,
Mary Jane, sanitation.
I've sent out, I don't know, 3 or 4 letters, and Jean says that most of them went to Hutton Street, and most of those properties have been cleaned up. I sent a letter of compliance to the attorney that owns that property at 301 West Main Street to let them know that we needed to do something with it. I've not had any return letter or calls. That was the attorney for New York Bank. And I have not heard anything from our attorney, and I think it's, other than sanitation, I think it's time we find another attorney.
Well, and also,
Maybe under new business.
We brought up, and we were talking about that earlier, about the nuisance. That's in our maintenance already, being able to file under maintenance, or for nuisance, be able to cite people under that. Maybe we need to look into that, Chief. It's there on the books. You know, we got to get this stuff taken care of one way or another.
It's not happening.
I know, he's not doing it, so. And anyway, you know, I think it's time, I agree with you there, I think it's time to look for another attorney.
And the school's a mess. I don't have the money in my budget to have it mowed, and when I send letters to the guy that owns the place, I send them certified. He doesn't pick them up, they come back.
Yeah.
In the
He's not
past.
going to do anything with it anyway. You see that. He hasn't done anything with it since he bought it in 96.
No, he won't even mow the grass hardly. But I've been having the grass mowed when I have the money, and we assess taxes.
Okay.
So, because he completely ignores all the letters.
Right.
Phone calls, he won't return phone calls either.
I got something on the police department, of course, whenever I can do it.
Well, we're going to go back to that. Chief, you want to give your report, please?
Sure. In September, the police department handled 106 calls for service. We took 19 reports, made 1 arrest, issued 7 citations, 16 warnings, and there were no vehicles impounded in September. The address Mary Jane's talking about, 301 West Main Street, also 136.5 Old Washington Street, and 204 Whitewater Avenue. All 3 of those vacant houses are declared arson houses. And all 3 of those cases were solved last week. Got 2 confessions from 2 individuals, so we have turned our case over to the Trumbull County prosecutor for aggravated arson charges on those places. So we are done with our investigation. So all of them can be torn down if need be. We've also seized a few marijuana plants that were growing in the field across the street from our building out here in Dwight Regal's field over the last weekend. So got some information that there was some National Trail kids going in and out of there. So we went back in there and located a few of those. So we have them being held as evidence for now, and probably destroy them later on. And we just, like I said, we just had 1 arrest in September. So, and just for the record, an incident that I have made contact with Debbie Stevens has been related to a police call where I was sent there by her neighbor or by Kelly Dunn, reference to CPO. And any of you have any questions, I can prove everything that was there. So yours.
I have a question on that 136.5 North Washington Street was I forgot the guy's name.
Lysol?
Yeah, Lysol property. Was there something I didn't know there was anything going on with that. I tried to have it cleaned up, but the weeds were so tall they couldn't get it done very good. And they need to go back and clean that up some more if I had the money to says over there?
There's nothing really going on there now. While we were investigating the other two fires, we got evidence that they attempted to burn that one too. So we went there, and there is evidence of a fire there, but after they said it, then they called it into the fire department. The fire department put it out.
Okay, I didn't know that. I hope I
Nothing
didn't
major
screw
there.
things up for you.
I have talked to Greg Stevens about his house too, and he's in contact with his insurance company about getting it tore down. His insurance company's been in contact with us and the fire marshal's office, so hopefully something will start moving there.
Okay. That's all I have.
Go ahead.
Okay, someone has called me about a red car on Hutton and Main. It's got 2 flat tires. It's been sitting since the 1st of June this year. I didn't know that and it's your daughter or daughter-in-law or whoever it is. Are these cars special? Then there is a sports car.
Are they on the street?
Yes.
Yes. There's a sports car that does not have a license plate in the front, and I think it's your boy. A Mazda. Does it have a license plate in the front? Okay, I'll call her up and tell her she was wrong. But I know the red car is still there because I just seen it. So that should be moved, and they should have a big fine because it's been there since June. Flat tire and all. What are you going to do about it?
No, I've moved it a couple times. I've moved it a couple times. You don't know what you're talking about. I have moved it. I have pumped up the tires, and I have moved it.
But it doesn't, the mark on the tires is still where it was.
Nah.
Well,
Maybe if you've done it within the last week.
I just thought I'd tell you that it's sitting there with flat tires. And the person is very unhappy because she had to move her car.
Well, then, Chief, go up there and write her a citation. How's that?
If I knew about it, I'd go up and mark the tires. We do it all the time. Just call me and tell me about it so I know about it.
There you go.
I went by there
Can't you
twice
see
today.
it?
I didn't see the flat tires on it, no. I drove by
One of them
there.
is right next to the sidewalk and it's what I call flat.
Okay. Well, I didn't
But it
know
shouldn't
had a
be
flat
there
tire.
that many months.
We don't
I have
know
moved
that
it.
it's not being moved unless somebody calls us and tells us it's not being moved.
Then I'm telling you
Some
now.
people work nights and they move it at night when I'm not here.
Well, I'm telling you now that it needs moved.
Okay. We'll mark the tires on it, and if it's still there 24 hours later, then we can follow up on it.
There you
But
go.
I mean, you want to get picky on certain things, and that's one that you can get picky on. Thank you.
That it?
That's all I have right now.
Okay, Dallas, you got anything?
Yeah, you just said the lights is the only thing you skipped over.
Yes.
And I had no report of that because, as far as I know, Jan had the
Right. Okay, next on the thing is trick or treat. Date and time. It's on a Monday. 31st is on a
I'll
Monday.
call Richmond and find out when theirs is.
Why?
Because we've been through this 1,000 times.
We need to do it now because we need to put it in the paper what we're going to do.
Well, whatever night Richmond's is on,
I
that's
don't
on.
know that. Let's put it on Monday night from 6 to 8. It's the 31st.
That's what it was last year, 31st.
31st.
You know what it is?
I'm just guessing. Don't see why it wouldn't be on the 31st on the
Right.
actual day.
From what time?
6 to 8. We always do it from 6 to 8.
6 to 8?
Is that okay with everybody on the 31st?
Fine. I usually go trick or treat at Rick's place.
That sounds good. All right, next meeting will be November the 7th, 2011,
Oh,
7
wait.
p.m. What?
The attorney thing. Are we going to discuss that later? Or what? We're just going to look into getting a different
Well,
attorney.
don't you think we ought to contact some people first and have somebody in the,
Yeah, but
Ready to go.
somebody needs to do that. So
then I'll designate you to do that. How's that?
that's fine, I'll do it.
See if you can find us an attorney. How's that?
That's fine.
Cheap.
A cheap one.
Which is
Very cheap. $1 and a box of donuts.
Does anybody have a problem with Mary Jane looking for an attorney?
No, she wants to do
I'm
it,
still trying to
let
figure out
her
who found the last one.
There you go.
Yeah, okay, we know the plan now.
There you go. Like I said, next meeting will be November 7th, 2011 at 7 p.m. I need a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Joe Bartle,
Yes.
Dallas Abrams,
Yep.
Gene Davis,
do. Yes.
Rick Van Winkle,
Yes.
and Mary Jane.
Yes.
One more meeting. Then it's your job.
Yeah.